Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today I have a new quick guide video for you where we're going to take a look at Marmalade, which is a very powerful cross-platform SDK for building video games. Specifically, we're going to look at how to integrate it with Visual Studio and how we can get a tutorial game up and launched inside of the Windows Phone Emulator. So we have a little bit to go through, so I'm going to keep this video short, so we'll jump right in. The first thing we got to do is actually download the SDK. So in order to do that, we're going to go to madewithmarmalade.com. And right here on their home screen, you'll notice a button that says Download Free SDK. We're going to go ahead and click that. And then we're just going to scroll over here for Download Marmalade for Windows. This is the full version of the Marmalade SDK, which comes with the C++, which is the one that we're actually going to take a look at. As well as Juice, which is great for iOS apps and Android games. Quick, which is used for building applications and games using Lua. And of course it comes with their web version, which allows you to use C++ with HTML5, which is very, very cool stuff, and allows you to basically push it to all these listed here: iOS, Android, Windows Phone, Windows Store, BlackBerry, and Tizen, which is really, really cool stuff. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and download Marmalade here, so you can go ahead and click that. It's going to bring up a download prompt, as well as it's going to ask you to register. Now you are going to have to register because this is how they send you your activation key. So once you've gone ahead and downloaded it, I'd click save here, but I've already have it downloaded. And then just, once you've selected up everything, go ahead and hit register, and then they'll send you a key that we're going to need to actually activate. So that's what you need to do to download Marmalade. Now, I've already got Visual Studio 2013 installed. I'm using Community Edition, which is absolutely free for up to 5 users. I'll make sure I put a link in the show, or the video notes rather, to download that as well. So here on my desktop, this would be saved wherever you downloaded it to, maybe your downloads folder, but I just put it on my desktop. This is the actual installer, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. So after a little bit, the setup page will pop up here, and basically what we're going to do is we're just going to click next on the first screen, go through the licensing, and click next. I'll accept, and of course just ask you where do you want to install it. I'm just going to select the default folder, and I'm just going to go ahead and install. Okay, so it is a really large SDK, so it will take a little while to install it all, but once it's finished, you'll see this window pop up here. And basically I'm just going to uncheck the README because I don't really need to read the README right now, but I'm going to leave the Run the Marmalade Hub checked. Now the Marmalade Hub, I'm just going to click Finish here so it launches. The Marmalade Hub is basically where we can create, set up, and manage any new Marmalade projects that we want. So it's just asking here, do you want to activate, the active SDK has not been set to the Marmalade Hub SDK. So I'm just going to click yes, just so it sets it, and it'll just come and ask for quick permissions and let it run. So after a second or two, the Marmalade Hub will pop up. Now this is the part where it's going to ask you to activate your license. So this is where you're going to punch in the information that you used when you registered. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so once the Marmalade Hub is open, the first thing we want to do is check our dependencies and set up anything that we're missing. So we're going to go to the dependency checker. It's going to pop up. It might have pop up with your change platforms list here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just I'm going to remove all of these just to make it a little bit easier for us. I'm going to select and remove all of them. So I'm going to have to, unfortunately, click them like so. The only one I'm going to leave in is the Windows Phone. Actually, I'm going to delete that one as well. So we're going to delete all of these by hitting the arrow over there. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to select the Windows Phone 8.1 x86 build and drop that over. So this should be the only one that you have in your selected targets platform. We're going to click Save Changes, and then it's going to pop up and it's going to have these IDE and compilers, and it's going to ask us where they are, and we can click the drop down here, and we can actually select Visual Studio 2013. because if you're like me, you're probably using the Community Edition, and that's the one you would want to use is the Visual Studio 2013 in the drop-down. Same thing for the Windows Phone C++ development. We're just going to select Visual Studio 2013, and we'll do the same for the other ones as well. The last one we'll just leave at do not use RVCT. So go ahead and hit exit once you've done that. Alright, so once we've done our dependencies and have all that set up, we're going to go up here and select Marmalade C++. This is going to allow us to create a new project. So it'll pop up a little dialog here with a link to a tutorial system, examples, as well as all the documentation you might want to look at. We're going to select the Start a Tutorial. This is actually a step-by-step guide on building a full game, so I highly recommend you check this out after the video. So we'll click this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to select Stage 1. We're going to go to Open as a Project, and then we're going to click Open Project again. And this is going to open up this little dialog here, and what it's doing is it's just building out all the dependencies and everything we need for our actual game solution. So we'll just give it a minute here. And once it's finished, what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to select Open in IDE. So this will open up our game solution in Visual Studio. And you can see here, if I just click the drop down, we have all of our files here. What we're going to do is we're just going to go up to where it says beside debug, and we're going to select the x86 build. So that's selected, so it should say debug in x86. And then we're just going to go to solution, right click and hit build solution, or you could hit F6 if you'd like. And this is going to build out our game for us, so we'll just give it a minute here. And after a couple of seconds there, you'll notice it says down here at the bottom, it says build 1 succeeded, which means everything's okay. So we're going to go back to Marmalade now and open up our hub. And you'll notice now that once we're back in here, our little bar here is now green and lit up, and we should have a little check mark beside our x86 debug build. So now if we hit package, install, and run, and this will actually build our entire game for us and deploy it to our emulator, as you can see here. So this is actually going to go ahead and package everything up and deploy it to our emulator. So after a few more moments, you should have it pop up in your emulator like so. Alright, so there we go. After a few boot screens popped up there saying it was built with Marmalade and a little advertisement for one of their games there, you should see a tomato up here in the corner, and that's pretty much it. That's all it takes to get a Marmalade game up and running inside of the Windows emulator. So very, very powerful, very cool SDK. I highly recommend you check it out and try it out in your next game project. Well, thank you very much, and happy coding.